So Susa NFR podcast. I once looked them. I see them post about hip hop related items. Hopefully they don't themselves do any shady shenanigans. I actually saw this recently, so this is damn near breaking news. But it feels like once a podcast we bump to something that's adjacent from the Drake Kendrick wars that don't seem like they'll be ending anytime soon, even though the beef is long over. Um, but I mean, even though we weren't fully conscious and developed in the hip culture and hip hop back in the day, Jay and Nas were going back at it for a couple years, right? We're barely
Um,
we're barely a year into this beef, actually.
how did that one
True.
even end? I think it wasn't Jay Z's mom told him to apologize.
As indeed as in culture, I am actually don't know the specific ins and outs, but that's another thing I'll put on my. Actually, I have one day I'm going to do the entire timeline of hip hop. Maybe rewrite my own book. Anyway, so so yeah, we all bumped something that's about Kendrick and Drake. Salute to Kendrick, salute to Drake. But here's one thing that I guess maybe no one really knew about. Interestingly enough, so they posted, and this is based off an interview that Reason did recently. Reason, the rapper that was on formerly a member of TDE. Reason says he was praising Drake online during the Kendrick Lamar beef, so that TDE would drop him. And he's quoted by saying, "I knew that if I sparked the fire, they would be like, we gotta separate from this. So I started tweeting shit on the side of Drake purposefully." Now that's kind of a question mark type of thing, but let's see what the brother had to actually say. Play the video. So it's Reason. He always has a really good fade.
That didn't like me before, they were consistent and they still don't like me. Because when you sign with TDE, there's going to be TDE fans that don't fuck with you. It's just how it works. But the fans have been pretty. The only fans I really lost were fans that I shot myself in the foot in, but I had to do that to get out of the label deal. When the Dot and Drake beef started, I felt like Top and them were kind of like dragging their feet a little bit. I don't think purposely. I just think they had a lot of shit going on. And I knew that if I kind of like sparked a fire a little bit, that they'd be like, we got
Are
to
you?
separate from this. So I kind of like started tweeting shit on the side.
I don't want to get too into the weeds, but Kendrick's not even on TDE.
I mean, no,
Yeah, he's
but
not talking about Kendrick, right?
Well, he just said the executives of TDE were dragging their feet because of the ongoing battle with Kendrick.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I mean, he's
I
still
don't know if
like
he was saying
facing
because of the
off.
battle. I think he was just saying in general they were dragging their feet on
Oh, okay.
his.
He made
I
so he
thought he
kind
was
of.
saying in responding or making some type of statement about the beef.
It kind of
That's
seemed
not
like he
what I
was saying
thought.
because all the like, because admittedly, labels and like people behind obviously producers and people behind the scenes were like it's not just rappers like literally just throwing out diss records. There's a lot of machine going on in the background for these things. So it kind of sounded like he's saying they were focused on Kendrick, but they couldn't have been focused on Kendrick because Kendrick wasn't their artist.
I
No,
I
no.
thought he just meant like making some type of statement or some type of response. That's all I thought he was saying, but I might be
Okay,
wrong.
fair enough. We can keep playing.
Sparked a fire a little bit, that they'd be like, we got to separate from this. So I kind of like started tweeting shit on the side of Drake purposely because I saw how yeah. So there's fans that hate me for that, and
Wait,
rightfully
what
so.
was the main tweet that fans hated you for?
They hated me when
I do remember you saying
yeah.
shit. I was just like, oh,
You're
this
just like,
was-
yeah, this is crazy. But I was purposely doing it. So I was talking to my boy LT, and he was like, bro, you got to turn it up if you want to get out of here in this year. Like, this is going to drag. Like, I know how, because he's a lawyer. He does contracts. He's
Right.
like, I know how this shit works, bro. This should have taken 2.5 years
Right.
unless you turn it up. So I tweeted, it was right after Push-Ups dropped. I tweeted, like, y'all hating this beat switch up is fire. And then I, like, let it sit for, like, 10 minutes and deleted it. It went crazy, and then you know what I mean.
The
And I
post
still
and
had to
delete
reason
shit.
TDE, so it looked like insane.
Right.
It looked like super crazy. So I tweeted that, and then I also I had a rap radar that I did. I mean, not a rap radar. The Green Room. Why am I
On the radar.
On the radar. Yeah.
Yeah.
I had a on the radar that I did over a Drake beat, but this was before the beef even started.
Oh, wow.
And so they hit me. They're like, "Yo, we was about to drop it, but we don't want to, damage your situation. Should
You
we
were like,
hold it?
run that shit.
Run it, run it. Let's do it. Like run it." And so that had like 5 million views on Twitter, and it was like mixed reviews. Like some people like, this nigga gassed and this shit fire don't matter. And then other people like, why the fuck he rapping up? Because fans.
So the reason, I think. You know, it's crazy. I feel as if I'm one of the only people that consistently. I've always bigged Reason up. I think he's incredibly talented. And for a slight second, I don't care what nobody says. He was best artist on TDE.
What?
Absolutely.
No, 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 no.
I am a best rapper. I
No,
should say. I
no,
guess.
no.
Listen,
Dog,
we're not. It's not hip hop the podcast. We're not here to
dog.
debate that right now. That's just what I believe.
I'm sorry, but your belief is wrong, bro. Like,
Man,
what
he was
second? What second?
when the second in between when Kendrick was gone. Absol hadn't dropped in a while. Schoolboy Q, in my opinion, hasn't dropped a great body of work in a while. What you call it, J
Sir was
Rock.
still there the whole time. Isaiah
J,
Rashad was still there the
J,
whole time.
who did you say?
Sir Isaiah Rashad.
I said rapper. I specifically said rapper. Um,
We still
and
got Isaiah.
and then yeah, Isaiah Rashad is obviously equally if not better artist, but where's the music?
Dog. The thing is, Reason has never dropped like a great project. So even if you're saying like Isaiah Rashad had,
That's not true. But again, we're not here to debate that. Anyway, this particular maybe it's the way he's framing it, and he quote tweeted this and he expounded more, so maybe that'll justify it. Does he sound a little corny here, or is that just me?
no, I mean to me, I am. I think this is hilarious, and I don't think it's corny at all. To be honest, I really think this is a somehow another L for Drake because we all talked about how we could count on like one hand the number of people that were publicly supporting Drake and how it was kind of
Drake
crazy.
was thrown to the
And
wolves during that beef.
like Reason was, I think, the one guy we saw that kind of had something positive to say about him. And then it comes out that no, actually, this was just to get me kicked off the label, which it worked. That is that's crazy. That's another Drake L. But I don't know. To me, it's like you could see it as corny, but TDE is kind of infamous for at this point for their uh substandard dealings with their artists, we'll say. And we have artists that are literally saying, "Get Top on the phone. I need to get off my record deal on Grammy winning albums." Just saying. But I don't know. With that context, like I just find this hilarious. I don't even have a problem with it.
Fair enough. Maybe it's me because of some of those things that I don't like that post and delete shit. I don't like stuff that feels like trolling or whatever the case may be. Anyway, before I get into like the main thing, let's see what he quote tweeted and see if it's more justified based off that. So Reason responded to this clip going out and he said, "I get it. This beef to y'all is everything, so I completely get why some fans feel away. But for me, as an artist and a human, I say that because in this we forget people are actually human. This is true. Me not dropping music means I can't put food on the table and feed me and my family. I can't pay my bills. I can't eat. If it ever comes down to being able to do that or choosing a side of a beef, I'm gonna choose my survival. If you can't understand that, then that's fine. Love those that do." I guess his response is more so along the line of using that beef allowed me to proceed down the path of being able to survive. So obviously he's gonna do whatever it takes. It really is crazy. The even more, this just makes me think of like the relationship between artists and labels. Like artists, when they're coming up, they like will literally like kill somebody, like literally do everything they have to climb the ranks or get any attention of a label. But then they get into the label, and then they get into positions where they can't even release music to the desire that they would want to, and then they're fighting to do everything they can to get out of labels. It's the music industry. Salute to Lauryn Hill. They've been saying it for a long time. The music industry is a sucky situation. guess that is really the TLDR. I don't think there's too much beef that comes out of his interaction with the beef. It's kind of weird. I don't know. I mean, I get there's always gonna be weird fans. I understand that, but I don't know. Would you guys look at any of the TDE members? If I don't know if you guys were peeping his tweets during the time, but would you guys look at TDE members weird if they were posting like Drake is killing Kendrick in this beef or Drake's put out a hot record?
I wouldn't
No.
care, bro. Like, I just want them to drop music. Like,
Yeah.
I literally could not care less about their takes on the beef, even if they said Kendrick was trash and hadn't dropped a good album ever. Like, as long as they're putting out music, I don't care.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
weird.
this is
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
baffling. No, this is baffling to me. Like, and the thing too is, I thought it was gonna be some crazy thing he said. All he said was the beat switch up on push up, like that was
I mean,
fire.
it's
Like,
it's not really what he said. It's just it was more so implying that he
Yeah,
sided
defending
with
Drake
Drake.
anyway.
Like, he was kind of subtle about it. He didn't come out and say like, "Oh, Drake is the GOAT, Kendrick is a wash." But any type of support
I
for
wouldn't.
Kendrick
If I
or for
saw
Drake
this,
over
I
Kendrick.
wouldn't. I don't even think I would have took it that way. I would have just took it as he's looking at. I mean, he's not being biased. He's listening to
Yeah.
both, both sides, and he's giving it up where credit should be due. Obviously, everybody realizes Kendrick is killing it, and just let's make sure. I mean, not make sure, but be a voice that says it's not one sided. Like there's a back and
Well,
forth happening.
honestly, if this was, he said this. He said he tweeted that after push-ups. Kendrick
And
hadn't
deleted it.
dropped Euphoria yet. Am I bugging?
Yeah.
I
That's
feel
true.
like
So
that people were still saying that Kendrick had lost the beef. I actually recall someone here
No one
saying
said
that.
he lost the beef. They were saying he's on the clock and he can't take too long.
I remember someone here saying something similar.
Someone
But
someone where? What are we talking about?
Ace and you remember Ace saying some
what'd you say? Hold up. What's going on?
when Drake dropped push-ups, you were one of the people who were like Kendrick losing the beat, Kendrick needs to
Yes, I
drop.
still believe that. Like push up was great. What are we talking
Oh
about?
Lord. All right.
Yeah, anyway, it's just weird. I feel as if when he was on the podcast talking, it seemed like he was effectively saying like weird fans because he was saying, and I guess he did have ulterior motives. Were kind of, I guess the fans weren't weird if they were kind of right, but they were like pushing him into the direction of of saying stuff. But I don't really understand the need to ever. If us as just regular rational people can understand that if you're just being objective, that's fine. I would never feel the need to try to explain to people that are like not all the way there, for lack of a better term.
I mean, from his perspective, I get it because like people are, especially on Twitter, are not rational at all. And when the Drake and Kendrick stuff was at its height, it's like the equivalent of like sports stands on sports Twitter going back and forth where there's no reason. It's if you say one little thing that can be construed as supporting one artist over the other, you've chosen your side basically.
The thing
And
is,
the blowback
I totally
from
get that.
that, like I think, and it worked out for him in that TDE obviously gonna want to side with Kendrick because Kendrick former TDE artist, and if a whole lot of fans are saying reasons bugging blah blah blah, and there's negative feedback and it reflects on the label somehow, then the label's gonna be more inclined to drop him because they don't want the negative or the negativity associated with that. I 100% understand the rationale.
I get it too, understand the context, but at the same time, I just don't necessarily understand the idea of trying to rationalize something to somebody who's irrational. That's just my point. But yeah, you are largely right in that, or rather, I agree with that. Yeah, I guess the crux of it is and it sounds like you are Ghost. But based off this, would you are you rolling with how we handle that interaction or how we went about this? That his beef, or do you think the because you could make a good we could make a point about where's the loyalty at the end of the day, like it like even if you're not 100% on the same page as your label or your crew or your group, at the end of the day, it does look away if you're seemingly or blatantly siding with the other side. Anywhere in here, like, where's the loyalty? You gotta stay down no matter what. Yeah, is that how you feeling this?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. That I have no problem with what he did. Just get off the label.
Damn.
There's too many horror stories you hear about artists and labels. It's like, nah, do what you got to do.
It just
This is
sucks.
random, but did Reason ever do a track with Kendrick at all? I'm just curious.
I mean, yeah, it feels
I
like
do
you
not
guys
know.
can do a quicker search. Kendrick hasn't done it. The only people that Kendrick has
I
done
don't think
project
so,
with
yeah.
is lame ass ninjas from the West Coast. No
Well, I'm not
offense.
saying projects, just
Not
literally
projects,
a
records
feature.
rather.
I don't think so,
he's
'cause
featured on
I would have
every
heard it
single
if he
TDE
did.
artist that I can think of. Even Sir, he's done. But yeah, I don't think he's ever done a track with Reason.
Oh, you might not get that. You might not get a record now.
Huh? Yeah, guess not.
Whatchamacallit? Yeah, it's just so weird, and I don't want to hyper focus on it. And I've already I'm on record already. TDE is definitely equivalent to like a team that was like winning championships back to back in like the '90s, but now you look at them and it's just like this. Oh, it's very questionable. They have like a questionable owner. And it
Damn,
really
are
doesn't
they the
make any.
Cowboys?
I think I made that compare. I think I might have made a similar comparison
That's
before.
crazy.
But yeah, just like Top Dog and Punch is damn near Jerry Jones. It's like I just don't necessarily get where the and I get business is business, but I feel as if anybody, and the crazy part, Top Dog is relatively transparent. Like you go on Twitter right now and you'll see him talking about some of the ongoings.
Yeah, he always be tweeting.
And I'm not saying you have to like put out people's contracts, but if you had such a successful label in the beginning, like, or do they change up how they operate, or did they like? I just don't get how it get to where it is now, to where you have people that have been successful. Like the crazy part is, again, I like Reason, but at the same time, he's never really broke out of like he's never broken to mainstreams. I'm not saying he's completely underground, but he's never like had a hit record or whatever the case may be. But like when you hear like SZA talk about some of their issues with the label, it's like I don't know. Something's like obviously wrong, and it seems like
every single TDE artist that I can think of, except for I guess Sir, has mentioned issues with it. Every single one as well.
And it just seems like it doesn't necessarily make any sense. But again, some of these things are contractual, lawyers involved, so it makes sense why they wouldn't want to break it down. But it should definitely never feel like, it feels like TDE was that one label where it should never feel like a fight to want to get off, even if you do have a contract. But anyway, yeah, I guess if anything, it's just more hip hop blog business, not anything to have an in-depth convo about. I do hope the best for Reason. And I even hope the best for TDE. TDE artists are still some of my favorite artists ever alive ever. I still, even though I said everything I said, I still really do love and respect Schoolboy Q's music and Absol and SZA. So I hope that stuff gets figured out. Aside from that, I guess the moral of the story is, hey man, if the side that you're on is holding you back, you can throw some shots out supporting the other side, and that might help your case.
Yeah.
But if there's nothing else, we can move on.